You're watching One Go Online Television, Sierra Leone, the new online connectivity hub.
Developed at Tombo this morning. Tombo is a fishing community, and as it is now, we have the Saloon police. Their distribution is under control, but there has to be some investigation into the causes of that particular event. So I can't speak much on that because it is not under investigation and the police are there. So that's so far I can go on that particular matter. As the situation unfolds, we will inform you about the development around Tombo.
There's someone asked about test down here.
Yeah.
We had an objective before the lockdown that we wanted to target all hotspots so that we can take samples from the hotspots. When we started, the personnel went there to take samples as usual, as was addressed by the spokesman yesterday. The community, we had some resistance from the community, but our people spoke to them. Some people volunteered in those hotspots. We really wanted to take samples in all the hotspots, but notwithstanding, even though some people actually decided not to cooperate, but we had some people in the office, like Susan's Day, Thompson's Day, some of them actually yielded and volunteered to give samples. And in our drive to actually catch up with the virus, the index case that has been identified in Bo, we have now put a team together that is going to support the Bo team so that we can actually take samples from all the primary contacts that have been identified at this very initial stage in the Bo case. Okay. The quarantine homes, there was intensified sample taking and then case investigation done in all our quarantine homes during the lockdown.
Okay, thank you.
How was case 90 tracked? Mr. Rogers is here. We did indicate to the general public that the security was all out to make sure that they get him, and this has been an outcome of security operations. Am I right, Mr. Rogers?
Very correct, Mr. Postman. We made sure that we made use of the requisite security apparatus at the disposal of government and this response to ensure that we identify the location and the whereabouts of case 90, including the intelligence and other security structures that we have at our disposal. So it is good that we have case 90 at our disposal and we go through the necessary medical procedures.
That is the very competent and authoritative voice of the ONS experts on security matters. Harold?
Yeah, Dr. Smith, do you have anything? Okay, let me take the next round of questions then. Yes. Okay. Yes, hello? Yes, carry on.
Hello, yeah.
Hannah.
Yeah.
Hannah Mala.
Yes, Anna.
Yeah, I want to ask a question.
Carry on.
Yeah. I like politeness.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, carry on.
Is this possible for politeness to be given pass to observe peace and security? Hello?
Yes, will they get you?
Hello?
Hello?
Go ahead.
Okay, is it possible for politeness to be given pass to observe peace and security issues through lockdown? That is one. And is it also possible for the committee to meet with political leaders in the case of coronavirus? Because there's a lot of political issues that will not go on with this, with your intervention. You are doing so well to a start. It's so impressive that this needs to be continued.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Will they ask that you read the comment from Facebook?
Okay. Several comments. This one says, Abdullah Bayi, as in the case with Ebola, the virus still remains active in an individual who died of the disease. I want to know if that is also applicable for COVID-19. And then Musa Fekar Paul says, what is the impact so far made during the 3 days lockdown? And another comment states that Edward Bangali says, good job for tracking case 90. Good news for tracking case 90. And this one is coming from Sambora Lamin. And Zachariah B. Nansaye says, Jamil, you not correct, Gaibo. And another one says, thanks for tracking case 90. While the last question here I'll take now says, it's from Cool Guy. It says, how many tests can be done on an individual to determine if they are positive or negative of COVID-19?
Okay.
So far, those are the comments in. We'll take them as a comment.
Yes, okay. So let's go with the responses.
Viruses on cops?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, as we keep saying, this is a new virus that we are still trying to understand. But notwithstanding, in our own context, in the Caribbean context, we have been able to identify a positive test in corpses. That is it. And then for a person, for any sample that we can, how many tests can be done on a person, for that person to be that positive or negative? When we take our samples, we send the samples to two labs, and those two labs must come out positive before we indicate that person is positive. If one test is positive and one is negative, we send it to a third lab for validation.
Thank you. I think there was a concern about, a suggestion to intensify the fight against COVID-19, and especially addressing issues or elements of denial in certain communities. I think that is very important. When you look at the trend, and for some of us who are very privy to what transpired in the course of Ebola, we believe that there is a strong behavioral and emotional history that continues to play out now that we have COVID-19. That is why we continue to widen and deepen public education, to continue sensitizing communities to understand that yes, there is coronavirus. Because when somebody has been in a quarantine home for 14 days or over, or somebody has tested positive, and the person says to you that I don't have any of the signs, any of the symptoms that could match case definition for COVID-19, the person is saying, why are you still keeping me here? Why do you continue to say I have COVID-19? We get those questions on a daily basis, and we continue to say to people, we have what we may call asymptomatic cases. You don't necessarily have to sneeze, you don't have to cough, you don't have to have fever for you to persuade us that, you don't have to have those ones to have COVID-19. You can still not have those symptoms and still test positive. So we take time to tell people, and especially for those ones that continue to be in denial. And we think at this point, all we can do is to continue to widen and deepen public education, to continue educating our people, continue going into communities, into slums. What has happened in Tombo, I'm sure that when we would have gotten the situational analysis, the situation report on this, we may be in a position to see to what can the issue in Tombo be attributed, to what other resistance in other communities could be attributed. But I am sure that one of the things that could situate well within the analysis could be elements of denial, and sometimes elements of perhaps conspiracy theories, false rumors, propaganda moving about. But as we had the caller who spoke about India specifically, I think it is important that the nation continues to stand together. And that is why we have this background with us, that Sierra Leone is a nation that is standing united to fight COVID-19. All of us have to come together, forget about whatever differences, come together and fight COVID-19. For a disease of this nature, the most effective and constructive weapon that we can have is to stand together to stamp it out. Harold.
Yeah, thank you very much. Any other questions from the virtual? Okay.
Yes, I will quickly.
Go ahead.
Yes, I will. Sorry, I want to ask quickly on the number of tests. I want to know how many tests were done on the 3-day lockdown. And secondly, I don't know if you've been informed about the 6 Lebanese nationals. I read it in Lebanese Palestinians. 6 Lebanese nationals of the people evacuated tested positive on their arrival in Lebanon. Have you been informed, and have you done surveillance and other protocols? And finally, on case 90, I want to thank Mr. Jamiu very much for his proactiveness as well as the security apparatus. But I want to know where he is presently, whether he's in detention or at a treatment center, because he's still a positive case. Thank you.
Thank you very much. On the last bit of your question, Lamarana, we got the reports just before coming here to do the daily update. So we know that he's in the custody of the security forces, and arrangements had been made to get him to the facility. We believe that that process is fully on course. On the Lebanese issue, I would like Brigadier Professor Fodisa to speak to that briefly.
Yes, we got the list, and that list has now been sent to the surveillance people. The list includes their addresses. So the surveillance people are going to go to these houses and then do the normal contact tracing and case investigation. For the number of tests that we have done during this 3-day lockdown, I cannot give you offhand, but I can give you that tomorrow.
But for total tests nationwide, as at today, cumulative nationwide tests stand at 2,447. And those ones would technically include the ones that may have happened in the course of the 3 days lockdown. But I just wish to state briefly, that is why we had advised ourselves against any media engagements before the update and possibly before the comprehensive assessment on the 3 days lockdown, because we want to instructively speak to the issues. So after here, the experts will be meeting so that we look comprehensively at the activities for the 3 days lockdown and be able to be informed as to what key achievements and also where we have shortcomings, what we can do as an institution to strengthen them. Harold.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, Peter.
Joe Committee, Mr. Jamir, and team, thank you all. And Tigidante Kofana said they should give us detailed information on the districts that have recorded positive cases, number of cases, status of their isolation. And Maruf Barry said, can they say something about the death rate? It's becoming alarming. Thanks for the great work you have been doing. And lastly, from Tigidante Kofana said, she wants to know number in quarantine per district also. I don't know what I have here.
Okay.
Carol, you can start. I'll join you.
Yes, we have been giving the general cumulative number in quarantine. And then for the district quarantine, since we have this now, we'll try to populate this for future updates. Okay. What's the other question?
The death rate, alarming, that's the get on this thing from. How if you can comment on the death rate, it's becoming very alarming.
Okay.
Yes, concerning the death rate, I mean, if you look at the number of deaths, this it includes those who died at home, and then we took swabs from them. Those that really died in our facility from the onset of this pandemic in Sierra Leone is like 3, only 3 from our treatment center. So all the other ones actually were either in hospitals or at home. So if you take it cumulatively, definitely the death rate will be high. But these people may have died with COVID, not necessarily died of COVID.
Okay, yes. From the Facebook page.
From our Facebook page, Cool Guy says again, he wants to know how many people are badly affected by COVID-19 that require ventilators that are in quarantine now. And then another comment says, can the EOC, okay, that's not necessary. This one says, we ask that the EOC give Sierra Network a pass. They are a big platform outside Sierra Leone. And it's coming from Ibandi Yemam. And this one says the status of the facilities where COVID-19 affected persons are kept don't look quite good. We encourage EOC to take necessary steps to improve them. And Kona Several Joanna says there are people who have completed the incubation period of 14 days and tested negative in the Bond district, only to continue for another 14 days after few among them tested positive. These people were brought from their villages to be quarantined in a guest house at Town in Bond. The major concern is that over a week now, have no monitoring or psychosocial support. There is also a problem of the provision of food and other services. And this one is coming from Kona, Joanna, as I said earlier. And I think those are all for now.
Thank you. Brigadier?
Yeah, the bond issue, I mean, as we have our protocol. If people are in quarantine and they are not actually observing social distancing, if one of them or a couple of them become positive, those that are negative, as long as they do not maintain social distancing, we have to keep them down and start the cycle. That is just our protocol. And someone asked about people who have been on ventilators. Fortunately for us, since we started this response, none of our patients actually have been put on ventilators. So they may have attendant diseases or attendant conditions, but really not requiring ventilators.
And if I may just add to that on the specifics for the 3 deaths that we just recorded, one is a 65-year-old female from Connaught Hospital, 76-year-old male, the 34 Treatment Center, and 75-year-old male in Kenema. So those are the specifics on the 3 deaths. Harold, can we close?
Yeah. So thank you, and we see you tomorrow, same time for the next update. Stay safe. Have a very nice day.
Thank you.
Together we can save the world.
Together we can save the world. Let's fight coronavirus. Together we can save the world. Your hands every time with a soap and water. With a soap and clean water. Stop the touching and binding and avoid the rough skinning. Maintain social distance. Keep a legal distance for your own existence. Corona is real, so stick by the rules with a positive resistance. Together we can save the world. Only you and I can save the world. Now we no more go save the world. Let's fight coronavirus. Together we can save the world. Night on my bed, it's a sad thing to see the people dying. Let's raise our banners high and say no, 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 no.